Hey Watch Fam, this is Zach with aBlogtoWatch. I'm here with David Bredan. We are here at Baselworld 2019, of course, taking a look at our 6 favorite watches to photograph that we've seen. David, these are new watches. These are fun watches. Most importantly, though, these are watches where we all walked into the room as a team and something on the table blew us away.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll take the first one. One of my favorite things, Breitling introduced over 70 SKUs this year. But there were 3 that really kind of stood out on the table. Of course, the new Navi timer was really special, but it was actually the civilian aviation collection Navi timer that really stood out. And what made it such a fun watch to photograph was the colors really jump off the screen. It's perfect on the wrist. It's one of those like really just Instagram-friendly watches because it's colorful, it's classic looking, super fun to photograph.
There should be more colorful watches out there, to be honest. And these 3 are great for that.
That's exactly right. And it's funny because when you see these 3 watches juxtaposed with a lot of the other stuff that we've seen that's sort of vintage reissues, it's amazing how little color there actually is with a lot of brands. So really fun to photograph. What was one of your favorites?
Konstantin Chaikin Joker Dracula is the latest version of the good old Joker, which has sold out many times over in its previous iterations. So Konstantin is working on new versions. And this one has the face of Dracula with the teeth coming out exactly at midnight and they pull back at 6 a.m.
It is the coolest AM PM indicator I've ever seen. And it's subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what you were looking for, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, that's right. Like some people, it was on the photo and we received comments like, well, how does that work? What's going on? What am I looking at? Well, that's what happens.
That's exactly right.
That's really cool. That's a cool watch.
Okay, so number 2 for me, we walked into, and we knew we were going to see something cool when we walked into Casio. We didn't know what it was going to be. It was the same thing last year. We all went into Casio last year and the GW5000, the full metal, blew everybody away. This year we had pretty high expectations. They had some MRG watches for us to see. But it wasn't until about halfway through the presentation when they just casually slid the Lunar Rainbow, the MTG Lunar Rainbow onto the table.
Yeah. What an amazing watch.
David's face lit up, like you could, smiling all across the room. They use an IP coating on the bezel, essentially, the case, and the coating for every watch is a little bit different. It has this amazing sort of iridescent rainbow color to it.
It's like an oil stain on a rainy pavement.
It is so. There's not a bad photograph of this watch. It was so much fun to shoot. There's so much depth and texture in the MTG dials. That was a showstopper.
It's a bit on the expensive side at $1,000, but
But you get the full, it's the Bluetooth, and you get the full MTG technology in there. Cool stuff. Number 2 for you.
Rolex Daytona.
Of course.
Eye of the Tiger, Rorschach test, whatever you want to call it. There's a bunch of different ways. Not even they can specify what's going on there. It has no name.
Rolex Daytona leopard rug.
Yes, all that. Yeah, exactly. And all of the dials will be the same, so it's not a random pattern. All the other versions will have the exact same pattern on it, and there's multiple different ways of looking at it. So it's really cool. It's a very quirky, very rarely seen or encountered side of Rolex.
And that's a great point because we've seen the rainbow, we've seen plenty of blinged out Rolexes, but the pattern is what really makes this thing unique. I mean, it's fully blinged out, but the pattern is unreal. You
just wouldn't expect this from Rolex if you didn't know that they've been making such watches forever, but they very rarely communicate those things.
Very true.
You? Third one?
Number 3 for me. This one is actually a little bit more of a sleeper, I would say. It's one of the bigger watches of the show, the Citizen 0100, of course.
Yes.
With the name 0100 being a nod to how accurate this watch is, 1 second a year. Insane accuracy. And it's a relatively, at a glance, it's really nicely finished, but like on the wrist, it's super thin. It has these amazing angles. It's insanely thin, but there's an amazing depth to the dial still. The markers are applied. The bracelet is an absolute joy. The AR coating on it is perfect. It just looks super stealthy and badass. It's an amazing piece.
It's $7,600.
It's also a $7,000.
There's a price to go with the cutting edge technology.
That's exactly right. 1 second a year, can't be wrong.
Yeah.
Number 3 for you.
Speaking of price, Jacob and Co Roulette. That's just incredible. I'm a multi-axis tourbillon, and you have a roulette to play with. It's an actual roulette wheel that you engage or start with by pressing a button at about the 8 o'clock position of the case, and it has a tiny little roulette ball, and it genuinely works like a roulette.
And David starts to make noises sort of off in the corner of, we're shooting and things are kind of quiet, and then that watch gets put on the table.
Heavy breathing initiates.
It was amazing. That was super fun to watch. That's a cool piece, not just to interact with, but it's a good reminder that a lot of what we see here, there are a lot of commercially viable products, and there are a lot of fun, exciting products that are designed either for enthusiasts or very specific types of clients. And I always think that the types of watches that tend to appeal to us as either creators or watch enthusiasts tend to be stuff that's a little bit left of center.
Yeah,
and those
that's
things
right.
were super fun to shoot, and I look forward to sharing them with everybody on Instagram. We've got a lot going on, so make sure to follow aBlogtoWatch on Instagram. We're just at aBlogtoWatch. And thanks for watching. Lots more show coverage to come. So if you find this video useful, you want to see more, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on YouTube.
See you guys later.